On the line, head coach from the Hammonton Blue Devils, Jim Raso, as they took down Toms River South 30-7 last night in the quarterfinals of South Jersey Group 4. Good morning, Coach.
How you doing? Thanks for having me on this morning.
Thanks for waking up early and joining us. Appreciate it.
Anytime for you guys.
Thanks, man. Talk about this game last night. What was your mindset going in? Obviously, you guys are the top seed. You know, everybody's looking to knock you guys off, and great to get off to a good start in the playoffs.
Yeah, you know, at this point of the year, especially in the playoffs, you know, it's anybody's game. You know, we tried to preach to the kids what we did up to this point really doesn't matter. That's just the nature of the game. You know, it's anybody's game, so we just got to take it one game at a time and treat each game like it's a championship game because, you know, if you don't win, you're not going to have a shot at it.
Tell us a little bit about, you know, the fans that don't really understand the preparation that goes into these games. Obviously, you're facing teams you haven't seen at all in the regular season and maybe not in a couple of years. What kind of things do you do? You know, how does that work in terms of scouting them and getting some information on that team? You know, the old days you trade you know, VHS tapes or whatever, or 35 millimeter if you go back that far. You know, send it FedEx overnight. You know, the VHS tape. But how much has technology changed the way you guys prepare?
It's so different now. They have a program called the Huddle now, and you know, most of the teams are on there. So it's just an exchange over the internet basically, and you know, it's a lot of just breaking down film. You know, we haven't really seen those guys be able to play. So, you know, we were just trying the games that we were able to get from them, just try to break down, try to get as many tendencies as possible as we can. You know, that was a good football team we played last night. And, you know, for the most part, I thought the kids did what we had to do, you know, to get to that next level now.
Yeah, talk about your squad. A great season so far. And, you know, guys like Zach Bernard and Malachi Winters really carrying the load there offensively. Is this kind of what you expected from guys like that?
Those guys really stepped up. You know, they're two guys that really didn't play offense at all for us last year. They both were strictly on defense, and, you know, they came up big this year on the offensive side of the ball. You know, we couldn't ask anything more from those guys. You know, just being leaders of the team, you know, being able to carry, you know, the ball when they need to. Malachi's doing a great job managing the game for us. We don't throw the ball a lot, but, you know, when we do, we tell him we want to be effective with our passes. And he does a great job just, you know, leading the guys out there in the huddle. He's not one of those guys that's, you know, going to talk a lot. He lets his actions, you know, speak for himself. And the kids respond to him. You know, he's even keeled. He's not too high and he's never too low. He just goes out there and takes it one play at a time.
How about this Bernard kid? He's a man among boys a little bit, you know, in terms of high school football, right?
You know, we don't necessarily always have guys with his size, his speed, you know, so it's nice to have him, you know, in the program. He's only started playing football since his freshman year.
Really?
So
wow.
He still has a lot of good football left in him, you know. Hopefully everything's going to work out for him at the next level. But, yeah, he's just doing a tremendous job for us. You know, just carrying the ball. You know, there's some games, you know, we're asking him to carry the ball 20 to 25 times a game, you know, and he's just going to go in there and try to ground it out and get as many yards as he possibly can. And he's still leading the team on defense as far as tackles. So, you know, he's sideline to sideline. So we ask a lot from him. And, you know, so far he steps up to that challenge for us.
Well, hey, if I'm a high school football coach and I got a kid like that, I'm saying, hey, you're in there every play, man. Defense, offense. You know, get in there on defense, get after the quarterback, and we're going to hand you the ball 25 times. We don't want him coming off the field. We definitely don't want him coming off the field, that's for sure. Talk about this offensive line a little bit. You know, you guys run kind of that old school offense, you know, a little bit of wing tee here and there. And, you know, that's really puts a burden on your offensive line. They're asked to carry the load, you know, with such a rush-heavy attack. And you guys been getting it done on the ground, and that really sets everything up for you and kind of allows you to control the clock and get off to good starts.
Yeah, our guys take a lot of pride. Our offensive line takes a lot of pride, being physical. We always, you know, we tell them it starts and ends with those guys. You know, we're not going to do anything, obviously, if we're not blocking up front. You know, so they come together each and every week. It's a close group. You know, they take a lot of pride in what they're doing. They try to be as physical as they possibly can. We're just trying to take guys off the ball, and, just go through their blocking assignments and their checks and their keys. And, that's when things open up for us. If we're able to, get our fullback game going, then, things open up off of that.
We're talking with Coach Jim Raso from Hammonton High School football team. They took down Toms River South 30-7 last night in the opening round of the playoffs. Coach, talk a little bit about your first year. You took over for Coach Lancetta this year, and I know you've had some experience in the program. How much have you learned from maybe August, early September till now as a head coach?
Yeah, there's a lot more thrown at you. It's not even so much football, just dealing with the everyday activities, from the emails, scheduling wise, there's a lot more that goes into it. Pete did such a great job here to build a great foundation for us. So we basically said we're going to come in here, not change too much. It'd be crazy too.
Sure.
He did such a great job putting this program together. So and it helped that the pretty much the whole entire staff was coming back. So I think made things a little bit easier. It was never going to be completely easy, stepping up from being an assistant coach to now being the head coach. But having the staff back has really helped a lot. And the kids responding, It's all about, we're only as good as how they play. We try to put them in the right positions, but ultimately the kids have to step up and make plays. And the kids have done a great job this year, along with the staff, of just getting them ready and getting them prepared each and every week.
Coach, how tempted are you, this time of year to maybe throw in a crazy play, a fake punt, that kind of thing, if you get in the right field position, really to maybe make that play that changes everything around? I mean, that's got to itch at you a little bit as a coach to say, hey, man, we can do this if we get to the 30-yard line and we're facing a 4th and 10. Let's try this thing. Or do you just say, hey, we're going to stick to what we've been doing all year?
We try to stick to what we're doing all year. If the situation calls for it, we might make that call. But for the most part, we're just going to try to play situational. Situational D. Just try to make the right calls. You're never going to make all the right calls, but you're hoping you're putting the kids in the best position. If it comes down to it where, you might need something, then you never know. But for the most part, we're going to try to just, do what we do.
Talking with Coach Jim Raso of Hammonton High School football. Coach, before we let you go, real quick, looking ahead, you got Timber Creek. They beat Mainland 10-3. Next week, I know you got some experience against them recently. What's the mindset going into next week?
It's round 2. It was an unbelievable game the first time we played a couple weeks ago. That's a great program over there. Their coach does a great job. They're physical. They got a lot of speed, a lot of talent. So we just have to rise up to the occasion again. Past couple years they've really taken it to us. And that was in the back of the kids' minds. Going into that first game. Same thing that, we were able to edge them out in overtime. We know that, they're going to come out ready to go, and, we're just going to try to get our kids ready to go. And, this time of the year, it's anybody's game, like I said. It doesn't matter what seed you are. You're in the playoffs. You have a shot. We're just going to try to give it everything we got this week.
Good stuff. Thanks a lot, Coach. Appreciate you joining the show. Good luck next week.
Thank you. Yep, thank you very much. Anytime for you guys.
All right, have a good weekend.